Good morning, everyone. This is Ruben with NYYNEWS.com. I'm posting this video because honestly, guys, there's been so much going on Twitter in regards to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I understand that he messed up the other day. I understand that he has 11 errors in the season. I get it. But we have to also put things into perspective. It is so easy in this fan base to get wound up on one player. This guy is doing exactly what they brought him in to do. 11 errors, yes, but all of you guys know that 11 errors doesn't always tell the entire story because we've seen Gold Glovers win with 20 plus errors. Where they end up with 10, 15 defensive runs saved. They end up making the big plays and make up those errors with good plays. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has 6 defensive runs saved. He is -2 in outs above average. Outs above average, they've said, for the most part, is really good stat for outfielders. Defensive runs saved, more reliable for infielders. But overall, we have upgraded our defense drastically from what we had from Gleyber. Do you guys forget that Gleyber was -10 on both outs above average and defensive runs saved? Do you guys forget that Gleyber Torres was that bad when it comes to like fielding, normal routine? Like, come on. Now, that's not the main point of what I'm going to say here. We get so wound up on Isaiah Kiner-Falefa because the guy only hits 270 and doesn't really have a great on base and doesn't hit for any power. But when he's been the same exact player he's been the entire year. He's been hitting 270. He has had an on base hovering around 315 to 320 the entire year, and has had timely hits to tie the game multiple times. So what's changed? What's changed is the fact that the guys that we have called, the big bats, the big OBV guys, the big RBI guys, those guys are not performing. I'm not talking about DJ, and I'm not talking about Judge. I am talking about Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, and Josh Donaldson. You have Giancarlo Stanton's been in the IL. I get it. But prior to that, for the month of June and July, collectively, the man was hitting 167 with a 277 on base. That doesn't sound like a guy that was consistent. That was consistently keeping the runs going. That was getting on base to set up the next player. So so he's exempt because he had an amazing second half last year. But he's hitting 228, guys, and he has a 309 on base. If you say that you expected that from Giancarlo Stanton, you are lying. Giancarlo Stanton has always been a 270 guy, 280, and it gets on base at a 350 to 370 clip, depending on the walk rate each year. He's not like super consistent with that. But he got on base, and he hit consistently to drive in runners. He's not doing that this year. And then Anthony Rizzo, who's hitting right behind Judge. He hits well with runners in score position, hitting about 260. Decent, really good slugging numbers. Decent on base. But when you look further, the man is hitting 200 with no one on base. Has a 322 on base percentage in those situations where there's no one on base. And guess what? Judge is not letting him get RBI opportunities. Because Judge, a lot of the times, is driving in those runs and himself. Because he has 45 home runs. This is why I've always said that initially I wanted Rizzo batting second. Because Rizzo did well in front of Judge. But fine, you want to keep him hitting third? Then Rizzo needs to also continue the line going. He needs to hit. The guy's hitting 224 this year. And has a 347 on base. Looks good, but you don't expect that from a number 3 hitter. Number 3 hitter is expected to hit at least 270 or higher. Because he has to be able to drive in runs consistently and not just by the home run. So why are we getting on Isaiah Kiner-Falefa when you got Rizzo, you got Stanton not holding up their end of the bargain, and then you also have Gleyber Torres, who has a 306 on base for the entire year, 309. The man has barely got on base all year. And he has a 252 batting average, hits 198 with runners in scoring position. He has sucked when it comes to men on base. And no one says anything about it. It's all Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's fault. But how is he supposed to impact the game knowing that he's a low OBP guy, low power guy, but no one's in front of him so he can get the timely hits? Josh Donaldson, 306 on base percentage, 228 batting average, another guy. See what I mean? We have literally three hitters hitting in the 220s with low on base percentages. Three of them with low on base percentages. Rizzo has a decent one, but Rizzo doesn't get on base enough when there's no one on. He doesn't start rallies. And he needs to start him too, because there's too many times where, okay, Judge clear out the bases, but why isn't he getting on? Why isn't he keeping the line going? So this is the problem with the Yankees. It's not Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You guys are being short-sighted when it comes to like paying attention to what he's doing. Look at the entire lineup. The entire lineup is hitting 228, 230. And they're all hitting practically under 200 when it comes to runners in scoring position. Stanton is hitting 200 with no one on. And 246, which is not great, with runners in scoring position. The problem with this lineup is not Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's doing exactly what he's been doing the entire year. And Oswald Peraza is not going to fix that. If Rizzo doesn't get it going, if Gleyber doesn't get it going, if Donaldson doesn't get it going, and when Stan comes back doesn't get it going, guess what? We're screwed either way. Isaiah has been doing exactly the same thing he's been doing, getting timely hits. Guess what? But those timely hits have not come with runners in scoring position. Why? Because our big guys that are supposed to be high OBP guys are not getting on base. That's my take on this. So, like, this is so stupid with how often you guys are going after Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He has been an upgrade defensively. I don't care what other shortstops are doing. He has been that much better than Gleyber. And he has been part of the winning. You guys forget, beginning of the season, when we were walking off, a lot of times he was the one tying the game. And he hasn't been able to tie the game or get the lead because no one's getting on base in front of him. We all knew what we were going to get with him. We're going to get about average defense or a little bit above average. -2 outs above average, 6 defensive runs saved. That sounds about average to me if you combine both of them. So he's exactly what we expected from him. A timely hitter with average defense to at times above average, at times a little bit below average, depending on the situation. But he is not the problem. The problem is Anthony Rizzo, Stanton, Gleyber, and Josh Donaldson are not holding up their portion of the bargain. So enough with only picking out Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He has not been as bad as freaking Joey Gallo. The other guys are not doing their jobs. So keep the same energy when it comes to holding those guys accountable. Because Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, I get it. He's not a superstar. Guess what? We already knew that. He's a role player. What do you expect him to do? Him and Trevino are playing like pretty well for 8 and number 9 hitters. Are you really going to be attacking the number 7, 8, 9 hitters like that? Come on, man. Like, we need to start holding accountable the number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6 hitters. Those are the guys that are not producing. And this is what's leading to this dysfunction in the lineup. And now you're relying on Kiner-Falefa to have a 350, 360 on base all the time. We knew this wasn't going to happen. So what are we complaining about? He has provided us a good defense. The metrics show it. 11 errors don't always tell the story. Matt Chapman has 1 Gold Gloves with 23 errors. Are you going to say he's not a Gold Glover either? So come on with that. Like, guys, we got to do better than that. Keep the same energy with the other guys. Rizzo, Stanton, hold the big guys accountable. It's so easy to attack the little guy. So this is my take. I just want to go ahead and say that because the problem with this lineup is the number 3 to number 6 hitters. 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 4 hitters that are not holding up their end. They're not getting on base. They're not hitting consistently. And that's the reason why this offense sucks. So stop blaming Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's literally like hitting 7th or 8th. Seriously? You're going to blame the bottom of the lineup? The number 8 hitter? Look at the other guys. Anyways, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comment down below, subscribe, like the video, and share it out, man. Let's spread the news, because honestly, at this point, people are not realizing what's going on with this. This is Ruben with NYY News. Till next time, peace.